IEBC portal. So progress is quite proper, if I say so, but we'll definitely keep you updated. And let's cross over to Dibal Lainer at our City Center studios for more updates. Dibal.
Right, a rich stream of information there that we're receiving from the data center with our data man there, Jesse Rogers. And it goes to show how this race is really tight right now with Raila Odinga and William Ruto interchanging on the leading of this particular polls as it stands right now, but also getting granular and looking down on the various constituencies and also various counties as well. We just want to put these numbers into perspective that we've been given by Jesse Rogers with our panelist here. And just to remind you, I'm holding court with Ambrose Weda, who is an advocate of the High Court, and also we have Professor Adams Olo as well. And we're joined by also Professor Eric Eseka to just make sense of these numbers as well. Let me just cross over to you, Adams Olo, looking primarily, first of all, at Mount Kenya as it is right now with the voter turnout. And we've seen also in Nyeri County where it is painted all yellow as it is, just save for Madeira. And it goes to show if we have Rigathi Gachagua coming from Madeira, maybe that particular also portion will be painted yellow as well. What is your projection?
Yeah, definitely. All along, William Ruto has been kingpin in the Mount Kenya. I think the polls have demonstrated that. And Williams Ruto's win is pegged on Mount Kenya turnouts. And therefore, William Ruto is not only racing against Raila Odinga, William Ruto is also racing against the turnout in Mount Kenya.
And how was the turnout from your own assessment and looking just at the figures how they are right now?
The figures we have seen is roughly 60% turnout, which if you compare with 2013 and 2017, which gave Jubilee the win, they were in their 90s. So if you were to place it that can William Ruto use the template that Jubilee used to win in 2013 and 2017, then the percentages are way down.
They are way down right now.
Yeah.
But is it way too early to call it the percentages are way too down?
Well, you see,
have
the percentage
the final turning for the entire Mount Kenya region.
The percentage of turnout won't change. Those who are going to vote have already voted. Those who didn't vote did not vote. So if IEBC tells us, I think they have not told us, but what we are hearing is that turnout in Mount Kenya was 60%. You won't be able to change that.
You won't be able to change, but of course the numbers can tilt in favor of either.
No, I'm telling you that, you know, if you are to turn that into raw numbers, and you ask yourself that, let's assume Mount Kenya has 6 million votes, and if you get 100% of Mount Kenya, you have bagged in 6 million votes.
Yes.
And you turn out and say that Mount Kenya turned out 60%, then you have to calculate that if William Ruto got the whole of Mount Kenya, then you'd have to say 60%. He got 60% of the 6 million, which might come to 3.8 million if he bagged everything. That's the analogy I'm trying to draw.
If you bagged everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's also rope in Professor Eric Eseka, and we're trying to make sense of the numbers as it is right now. But just to give you that only opportunity for introduction remarks since you're joining us right now, Eric Eseka, you've been, of course, you voted yesterday. We expected, you did vote, and your own assessment since yesterday and now, and the numbers that are trickling in, the projection that you've gotten also from our data center, and I know you've been following the numbers. How would you characterize this particular race yourself?
I think I mentioned in an earlier show that this is a race that is 50-50. That it is very competitive indeed, very narrow. And my expectation was that there would be a very significant percentage sliced from the support of Ruto in Mount Kenya, at least some 25%, but it looks like that is not the case. That he is around 20 or 19 there of the Mount Kenya vote. So in my view, it is dependent upon the inroads that he will be able to make from the other areas to top up and the turnout overall in his own strongholds, particularly Nyanza and Western, that is Kakamega and Vihiga. So it can go either way, in my view. And that simply shows that there has been some significant impact in the people who jumped over to his side, particularly Alfred Mutua in Lower Eastern, because you can see the percentage that Raila enjoyed in 2017 in that area is slightly hewn down as a result of the impact of Mutua. So in my view, we just keep our eyes fixed to see which way it's going. But it will not be a win of over 500,000 votes on either side, the way I see it.
You'll be getting it very close as it is.
Yes, so, it is very close.
As we can see, it is just a difference of, the decimals. The decimals will really matter on this as well. It is really a tight race. But could we also focus on the Western region and William Ruto, where he's been trying to actually, make inroads in most of his constituencies, especially Bungoma area. We had a projection from Azimio at least by 5%, 50-45 will have been able to bridge that particular gap so that they are on an even keel. But it seems also he's really bagging Bungoma as it is. Ambrose,
yes, thank you. You see, when you look at the Western region, you look at them as sub-nations. And when you talk about Bungoma and parts of Trans Nzoia, you are talking about the Bukusu sub-nation. And the last elections, they did very well for President Uhuru and Jubilee. And therefore, it was easy for the Deputy President to make inroads there, based on Jubilee, and then based on some historical facts. There's some historical incidences that always makes the Bukusu be very hesitant at times when you put Baba on the table. One of them is the duel between the late Wamalwa Kijana and Honorable Raila, soon after the demise of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Again, during the time of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, it is the sub-nation that purely went for Kenya, as other Luya sub-nations were divided among Ford, Asili, and Kano. So put that together, it was, and then the fact that he's gone in there deeply has given him ability to claim what Honorable Raila, not Honorable Jubilee had the previous elections. Where I think we would be talking about making inroads is if evidence was to come that he's made inroads in Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga, because those were exclusively generally Honorable Raila's strongholds. And I can see that if he gets even 30%, that would be a major upsetting inroad. Added to the fact that you look at it that Mount Kenya, the so-called Martha effect has not turned up. It's not there. So despite the fact that there's slightly lower turnout, the chunk that was to come from Mount Kenya based on the fact that Honorable Martha Karua was running it seems not to have come, whereas there is a possibility that the loss occasioned by Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka not being a running mate still remains. And if it remains, again, it is to the disadvantage of Baba. Because ordinarily when you abandoned, when Honorable Kalonzo was abandoned, you should have gotten enough votes to cancel out the ones that you may lose just because you don't have Honorable Kalonzo, just because you don't have Honorable Musalia. You have to combine the two, because Musalia also having left, there's a chunk that goes with him because there's the fact that
Wetangula as well.
Yes, so this new person must bring those votes, meaning Honorable Martha Karua should have brought not less than 1 million votes.
So, Adams, do you think Martha Karua came in late in the day? They should have actually given time for her to do the running arounds, of course, the campaigns as well. Maybe that will have added a substantial difference in terms of voter turnout in the favor of Azimio. Not at all.
Not at all. Let me tell you. When you look at the percentages, you don't get the real picture. Let me give you, for example, if at all, as Professor Seka says, Raila Odinga was to get 20% in Mount Kenya. Calculate 20% of 6 million, to just use figuratively the figure I used as earlier. 20% of 6 million is 1.5 million votes. So when you turn it into raw numbers, compare that to what you lose for not making Kalonzo the running mate. So the figures I've been seeing is that Raila is losing around 5 percentage points from Ukambani compared to 2017. Turn that into raw numbers, it is in a few hundreds of thousands. So that's the way you look at it, that by bringing Martha in raw numbers, what has Raila added that he didn't have before? Because initially in central Kenya, he would just get 3%.
Yeah, but the question is, I'm saying, if she came in a bit earlier, that number would have been also
I don't
different.
think so.
I
don't think so. I think William Ruto had really made inroads. He had gone into the churches. He had gone into the psyche of the youth of Mount Kenya. He had played on the frustration of the small business people from Mount Kenya, whether he was able to craft the narrative that Nyamakima is no longer there, counterfeit is no longer there. I don't think Martha coming early would have changed the mindset that William Ruto deliberately and in a very calculative manner, you have to give him credit there. I think he started campaigning. Uhuru was busy with nation building, and William Ruto was busy campaigning for 2022. So I don't think that would have changed.
So as it is, we just raised the white flag in Mount Kenya to Dr. William Ruto. Professor Aseka.
Yeah, I think the coming in of Martha Karua was expected to elicit a response from the female gender, because there had been going on politics of women marginalization, and of course that kind of campaign was carried out by Maendeleo ya Wanawake. So my expectation was that was going to be a tipper in terms of the perception that now this is the time for women empowerment. But it appears like the rest of the psychology of politics at that particular area seems to have already bought into the hustler narrative to the extent that it could not significantly be negativated by the women component or women aspect of it. So that is my reading of it, that I think there had been sufficient caucusing around Mount Kenya to neutralize the effect of the gender question. Yes.
All right. Ambrose, let's focus a bit on the coastal area as well, because there has been a battle to try and woo the voters, swing them to your side as well. And given that for the longest time, storied history from the coast, it has been leaning favorably towards ODM, and we can speak now to the broader Azimio as it is right now. Do you think the same strength can be put on this particular ballot as it is, with the tallying coming through right now what we had like in 2017 or 2013?
Yeah, I think the Honorable Raila team, the Azimio team, seems to have lost ground at the coast from the little results that come in. Because coast was Honorable Raila's bastion. It was his bedroom. Nyanza coast.
Yes.
But if you see that the deputy president is going 30%, 40%, that is a huge jump, and you take a chunk of those votes from him. Many factors may have come in. The question of the SGR and the port and the Naivasha inland container depot, all this may have sunk into the minds of those who are in Mombasa. And the challenges with the county government. So I think it is a loss for the Azimio team. Let me also just say, to me, I still say for the upteenth time that the choice of Martha Karua as a running mate was a mistake, miscalculation.
It was a miscalculation?
Oh, complete. I said it. Let me repeat again. When the results are finished, we may one day write about it. Reports are that Raila lost in Haun polling station. Haun polling station. I'm not saying it's official, but it's saying Haun polling station. Now you bring in all inroads, all these things. But if you count the loss compared to, just wait and see what you will see coming from Ukambani. Some of the inroads that Ruto may have made in coast, because coast is a chunk of it, also the combination, is attributed to some of this. Then you will watch what is coming from Kitui, the hometown. And the initial results show that they are almost close. Now that means it is reaction of the people, the way Kalonzo was treated. I thought that if somebody was to take a female running mate, they would have picked on, let's say, somebody from Murang. Let's say somebody like Peter Kenneth. You say, this county has about 800,000 votes. This one will zero in and get. But they went on the wild card of female. But if you look at even the Meru Nation, apart from the women rep, they have never elected a lady, even MCA. The whole of it. They can't change overnight just because you are brought mother. The same lady was on the ballot and got less than 50,000 votes. So to me, that was a mistake, and it remains a mistake. It was a miscalculation that the cost will be seen towards the end. Some of the inroads you see in Mombasa, some of the inroads you will see in Nairobi, some of the inroads you will see in Kikuyu Nation, basically because of this wrong choice. This wrong choice. Some Kambas feel that the way Kalonzo was mistreated goes in there. This coveted slot of running mate was claimed by the Kambas and the Luyas. They feel it. So if you see some inroads even in Boyega, in Kakamega, it may not be that they like Ruto so much, but they just feel he took it away from us. And then they gave it to this lady. That cost, to me, even if my brother Adams Laws tries to say, oh, you calculate this, I really think it has hurt Honorable Raila.
So this is the political cost that he has to, pay right now with the moment of truth as it is. All right, let's talk about the cost. How is also your perception of the cost, Professor Adams Law?
Definitely, me, I'm just talking numbers today, numbers. If you look at the numbers, definitely there's lost ground compared to 2013 to 2017. But those lost numbers are made up for elsewhere. The problem that you'll find with the way we look at the totality of the votes is that we usually concentrate on the big five tribes, which are basically Kikuyu, Luo, Kalenjin, Kamba, and Luya. Of course, together they make up 70% of the population, not necessarily the voting population, but together they make that. But what makes a difference in the final tally is the remaining 30%. So you'll find a lot of focus being put on what has Raila lost in Luya land because of the move of Wetangula and Mudavadi, and what has Raila lost in the coast. But